Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing UFC 162 right now with a returning guest, Nick Kalikas from MMAoddsbreaker.com. He's a professional MMA odds maker. And our calling guest today is Kuhn from Fightnomics.com, the fight scientist, quantitative analyst of MMA fights. And we just got finished discussing the Anderson Silva fight. Now we're going to talk about Frankie Edgar and Charles Oliveira. And, Edgar, of course, has lost 3 fights in a row, all title fights, all by decision, all controversial. A lot of people thought that he beat Aldo. He's minus 550 here against Oliveira. This kind of looks like maybe one of those situations where the UFC is trying to just hand Edgar a win, hand a top fighter a win to get them a bigger fight down the line. Nick Kalikas, what do you think about that analysis?
Yeah, I think it's probably true, but man, it's a fight that I think everybody's overlooking a little bit. Charles Oliveira here. There's no way the line should be that high. I got all respect in the world for Frankie Edgar. Like you said, controversially, the guy should still be lightweight champion. He could possibly even own the featherweight strap right now. So he's on a little losing skid, but I mean, those have been controversial decisions. He's fighting the best in the world, and he is one of the best in the world. At 155, at 145, no doubt about it. But Oliveira 5-1. Frankie against Oliveira, I just don't see it. I think it's a little bit too high, only because I really believe that Charles Oliveira is a talented prospect. Offensively, the guy's phenomenal. I mean, his submission game, he could probably submit anybody he faces in the octagon. I mean, no doubt about that. No matter how good your subdy is, you got to be cautious against this guy. Now, the problem, though, with him is defensively. And Frankie Edgar, of course, I mean, he's such a well-rounded, amazing fighter. I mean, there's not many flaws in his game at all. That's why the public's basically saying, how's Oliveira going to beat this guy?
Right.
That's why you're seeing line where it is.
Right. So Kuhn, most quantitative analysts in the world of sports betting almost always recommend against a huge favorite and usually recommend on taking a big dog here. Is that how you see this?
Well, that is true historically anyway. And when I look at these two stacked up, I actually see almost identical numbers all the way down the stat line. So they show up very evenly, but that's where a nuance of level of competition comes into play, because Edgar has been going 5-rounder after 5-rounder with champions. Oliveira has not faced that same level of competition. I definitely think Edgar has better stand-up. He can do strike and fade tactics all day long and wear you down, and he's never going to tire out. He should win this by decision. But at this kind of line, Oliveira is a very dangerous submission artist, and that's just a lot of juice to be hoping that nothing gets caught. So I'm probably going to pass. I might even look for a prop on Oliveira by submission, but generally I'm probably thinking Edgar by decision here.
All right, Nick, have you gotten any action on this fight yet, and where's it been?
Oh, definitely. I opened it 3-1 because honestly, I think that's more of a realistic. It's a fair line, but obviously it was a bad line to open because right now he's sending it over 5-1. So whether I think it was a fair line or not, it was wrong. Right now, the public backing Frankie big time. Like I said, I think that Oliveira, he's just so dangerous to be laying even 3-1. There's no way I would put my money. I mean, he's so talented, even on the feet. I mean, striking, he's not going to get that respect, especially coming off that loss to Cub Swanson like he did. I mean, he does tend to fold a little bit, and Frankie could definitely put it on him as well. But I just think you're crazy if you're going to seriously lay 4-5-1 against a guy that has offensively the talent and skill set that Oliveira does.
All right, what do you think about that last fight? Because Oliveira didn't even make weight, and so people are looking at that one where he had a bad loss, and Edgar arguably beat Aldo in his last fight. A lot of people think that, so that's what they're looking at. You think that's a little bit misguided?
I think so, too. I mean, you're never as bad as your last fight, or even if you had a bad performance. And I think that's the case here as well. He looked terrible against Cerrone, too. Cerrone, I mean, folded him up, made him look bad. So, I mean, he's had some really bad performances in the ring, and Frankie's had nothing but great performances. I mean, even in his losses, like we just said. So I think his stock level has really taken a dip.
So it sounds like you're going to need Oliveira, though, in this fight.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to need Oliveira. And you know what? If there's going to be a bet to be made, I think it's Oliveira inside the distance or by sub as well, because you're going to get an outstanding number on that. So or hedge it, like you said, with Frankie by decision, because I do believe, I think even though the Frankie can stop Oliveira, I think he's probably going to win the decision.
So if Edgar wins, then are you going to get burned pretty bad or just a little bad?
No, I mean, everybody's going to, of course, have him in a parlay as well. So we won't get burned that bad. I mean, definitely there are going to be some losses out there, but eventually we'll get it back. So no sweat.
Okay, well, I like Kuhn's analysis going for some props. Thanks, guys.